This is the mayor's report for the city of Battle Creek, Michigan. This is the mayor of Battle Creek, Mark Behnke. Good morning. Primary election, early voting begins today. As a reminder, voters now have 3 different options for voting in our elections: absentee voting, in-person voting on election day, and for the first time, in-person early voting. In November 2022 election, Michigan voters approved a constitutional amendment that gives voters the right to vote early in person. That amendment passed in Calhoun County with about 57% voting yes. Any Michigan registered voter can now vote early and in person. Early voting in Calhoun County is available for 9 days before each state and federal election at one of 2 early voting centers, depending on where you are registered to vote. You can early vote at your election day precinct. In-person early voting is available from the 2nd Saturday before the election through the Sunday before election day. For this year's primary election on Tuesday, August 6th, 2024, neighbors can vote early beginning today, Saturday, July 27th, through next Sunday, August 4th. Voters registered in the city of Battle Creek will be able to vote early at the Cool Family Community Center, 200 West Michigan Avenue, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day of the early voting. As part of the municipal agreement for early voting, voters registered in Bedford Township, Penfield Township, and the city of Springfield will also early vote at the Cool Center. Voters registered in other municipalities in Calhoun County will vote in the Calhoun County Building, 315 West Green Street in Marshall from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day of the early voting. If you apply for and receive an absentee ballot for 2024 election, you can bring your completed ballot to your early voting center during the 9 days of the early voting and place it in the tabulator yourself. Please note that you must still check in with the election staff, apply to vote, and show your photo ID or sign an affidavit that you do not have your ID. If you tabulate your absentee ballot at the early voting center, you cannot spoil or recorrect it later. Find much more voting and election information online at battlecreekmi.gov/elections and mi.gov/vote. Call the City of Battle Creek Clerk's Office with an additional questions at 269-966-3311. That's 269-966-3311. City seeking members for new Community Oversight Board. As a reminder, the City of Battle Creek is seeking members for a new volunteer Community Oversight Board and is asking for the applications be submitted by Monday, August 5th. The board was established with the City Commission approval and several years of work throughout the community. The Community Oversight Board will be an advisory board to the city manager, reviewing appeals for investigations and findings from community complaints against the Battle Creek Police Department. The Community Oversight Board will create bridges between the community and law enforcement officers by supporting community education and transparency, providing community perspective on police department practices and policies, and working to build credibility and community trust. The board will have 7 members and 2 alternates who reflect the city's racial, gender, age, skill, and other demographics as closely as possible. Up to 7 members who live in the city of Battle Creek. Voting members, 3 will represent the NAACP, VOSES, and the Burma Center, community organizations serving and advocating for marginalized neighbors. Up to 1 member who lives in another municipality that receives contracted Battle Creek Police Department services. 2 members who live in the city of Battle Creek, Michigan, alternates who will attend the meetings and have the rights, responsibilities, and obligations of members in those members' absence. In addition, the City of Battle Creek Human Resources Director and Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer will also serve as ex officio and non-voting members. Members must attend meetings at least quarterly, as well as mandatory training sessions. They must also participate in community engagement activities and additional relevant training opportunities. Members can serve 2 consecutive 3-year terms. The following may not serve on the Community Oversight Board: current Battle Creek City employees, immediate relatives of city employees, siblings, children, spouses, partners, and parents or household members, active employees of other area law enforcement agencies and their immediate relatives, former or retired law enforcement officers who worked in the Calhoun County area. Visit battlecreekmi.gov/boards and commissions to apply online, or download the application form to fill out and mail or drop off at the City Hall. The City of Battle Creek is committed to making our volunteer opportunities accessible to everyone. If you require a reasonable accommodation to complete the application, please contact the City Manager's Office at 269-966-3311 or public input at battlecreekmi.gov. Capitol Avenue Rehabilitation Project enters final stage. City contractor crews began the final stage of the Capitol Avenue Rehabilitation Project along Capitol Avenue from Columbia Avenue to Rebecca this past week. While there are no expected complete road closures during this stage of work, temporary lane closures and lane shifts and sidewalk closures will be in place during the project. Neighbors are encouraged to plan for temporary delays as they travel in this area, and to beware of workers and equipment in active construction areas, as well as directions from workers or signage in the area. Crews began the work Monday, July 22nd, and expect to be completed with this stage of the project by Sunday, September 15th. Work hours are generally from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for sidewalk upgrades and 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. for milling and paving work. Battle Creek Transit's 4 Southwest Capitol route may be impacted by this stage of the project. Transit will continue to operate this route as normal. However, riders should expect delays along this route. If a detour is needed during this stage, neighbors will be notified via both the Battle Creek Transit's Facebook page and transit announcement text alerts, which neighbors can subscribe to on the city's website Notify Me page. If a section of Capitol Avenue is only open to a single lane of traffic due to a temporary lane closure or lane shift during work, then transit may have to service a bus stop from a different lane. Neighbors are reminded to be cautious when traveling behind buses, as many make sudden stops to service passengers boarding or exiting the buses. As a reminder, the Capitol Avenue Rehab Project will include sidewalk ramp upgrades, milling, and paving the roadway, as well as new pavement markings and manhole hole adjustments along the more than 4-mile stretch of Capitol from West Van Buren Street to Rebecca Road. With each phase of the project work, we'll begin with the sidewalk ramp upgrades and then progress to later milling and paving of the Capitol Avenue in the phases section. The final work with each phase will feature a new pavement marking and manhole adjustments. The overestimated completion date for the Capitol Avenue Rehab Project is October 15th, 2024, depending on the weather-related delays. Certificate of Recognition, Jill E. Humphreys, Steele, retirement. Jill began her career with the City of Battle Creek on April 5th, 2009, as the Deputy City Attorney. On October 16th, 2013, she assumed the role of City Attorney. Jill E. Steele has proudly served the City of Battle Creek and the Battle Creek City Commission for over 15 years. During her time with the city, Jill worked with 3 city managers and acted on behalf of 8 Battle Creek City Commissions. She was admitted to practice in the United States Supreme Court, has served on the State Bar of Michigan's Government Law Section Council, as well as in the board of the Michigan Association of Municipal Attorneys and its Legal Defense Fund, based on municipal law experience. Jill will be greatly missed by the City Commission, our City Attorney, and City Manager's offices, and many co-workers she assisted during her career with the City of Battle Creek. The City of Battle Creek thanks Jill Steele for over 15 years of devotion to duty and extends sincere best wishes as she continues life's further journeys. Proclamation Bobby Holley Day. Bobby Holley Day. Whereas Bobby Holley is a lifelong dedicated resident of Battle Creek who has devoted over 35 years to fighting crime, violence, drugs, bullying, gun violence, homelessness, and rallying assistance for disabled people. We are honored to show our appreciation for his commitment and tireless efforts to create peace, love, unity, and harmony in our community. And whereas he graduated from Battle Creek Central High School and is inducted into the Hall of Fame class of 2015-16. A stint in the U.S. Army followed from 1966 to 68, where he received the U.S. Army Physical Training Award. Then he attended Kellogg Community College and further obtained his bachelor's degree in communications with a minor in music from Western Michigan University. He retired from the Battle Creek Federal Center for over 20 years as substitute taught in our local high schools. And whereas, as a former Stax recording artist, he had hits on music charts while touring around the nation with Junior Walker and the All-Stars, Al Green, the OJs, and many more. He is responsible for planning tributes to many local recording artists. And whereas he has been instrumental in recording those who have made history great in Battle Creek, including the renaming streets for Helen Montgomery, William E. Boards, and as well as the park for Julia V. Milner. And whereas Bobby boldly endures the worst of conditions in his heartfelt pursuit of raising awareness by walking and crawling countless miles, he demonstrates with illustrative gestures and remains vigilant in his efforts to help others. We are honored to recognize Bobby for his passion in making our community a safer place to live for all. Therefore, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Battle Creek, we do hereby proclaim July 20th, 2024 as Bobby Holley Day, and that Bobby Holley be recognized for the passion and dedication to the Battle Creek community. Congratulations, Bobby Holley. I appreciate everything you do for the people of Battle Creek. Our next city commission meeting, due to the election day being Tuesday, August 6th, the next city commission regular meeting will be Tuesday, August 13th. Regular meeting starts at 7 p.m. You can join us for the regular meeting in person at City Hall, 10 North Division Street, in the commission chambers on the 3rd floor. There are at least 2 opportunities to give public comment during the regular meeting about items on our agenda and any general comments you may have about city business. If you can't come to the meeting in person but want to watch it, Access Division broadcasts our regular meetings live on channel 17 to 917 on Comcast and on channel 100 on AT&T Uverse. They also streamed the live 17 of their website, accessdivision.tv. You can also watch the live stream of our workshop and regular meetings on the City of Battle Creek, Michigan YouTube channel. You can watch previous live streams and meetings there too. Our agendas are usually posted the Thursday before each workshop or meeting on the city's website. Once on battlecreekmi.gov, go to your government tab, then mayor and commission. If you'd like to have a paper copy of the agenda, you can visit the city clerk's office at City Hall from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. This is the Mayor of Battle Creek, Mark Behnke. Thank you very much for listening, and please have a great weekend.